Hi everyone. So here in this lecture we are going to discuss the next chapter, that is the electrolytic conductance. So here already we have discussed the first three chapters, that is the chemical kinetics, investigation of the molecular structure and the phase rule. This is the last chapter of the TYBSc, that is the electrolytic conductance. So friends, so here conductometer or the conductivity bridge uh, or conductivity meter, it is the instrument which is used to measure the resistance or conductance of the solution. So here basically in this chapter we are going to discuss the basic concept of the conductometer, then circuit diagram of the conductometer, then here conductance, specific conductance, equivalence conductance, effect of concentration on the specific and the equivalence conductance, and application of the conductance measurement. So here first of all let us consider the syllabus of the electrolytic conductance. So here syllabus, that is a recapitulation of the electrolytic conductance, that is the basic terms which are very useful in the electrolytic conductance, then specific and the equivalent conductance, then variation of the equivalent conductance with concentration, then Kohlrausch law and its application for the determination of equivalence conductance at infinite dilution of weak electrolyte. Second one is the ionic product of water, and the third one is the solubility of sparingly soluble salt. So these are the three application of this Kohlrausch law. Then migration of the ions and ionic mobilities, absolute velocity of the ion, transport number, then determination of the transport number by using the Hitrop's method and the moving boundary method, then relation between the ionic mobility, ionic conductance and the transport number, then ionic theory of the conductance, that is the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation and its validity, and lastly activity in the solution, fugacity and activity coefficient of the strong electrolyte. So your friend, this is the syllabus of the electrolytic conductance. In today's lecture or in this lecture we are going to discuss some basic terms which are very useful in electrolytic conductance. So here introduction. So here substances can be classified as electrolyte and the non-electrolyte. So here on the basis of the ability of their aqueous solution to conduct the electricity. So here when we consider the substances, there are two classes, that is the electrolyte and the non-electrolytes. First of all, I would like to clear one thing. So here when we consider the electrolytic conductance, we are going to consider the only electrolyte. We are not going to consider the non-electrolyte. So what is by electrolytes or what is by non-electrolyte? So here the electrolyte, first of all, the electrolytes are the substances whose aqueous solution conduct the electricity. Or here we can say that electrolyte also conduct electricity when they fuse or when they melt. So here such a substances they are called as the electrolyte. Their aqueous solution or their fused liquid, they conduct the electricity. So here the example of the electrolyte KCl, potassium chloride, potassium nitrate, SCl, NaOH, sodium chloride, these are the example of the electrolyte. Then the second one is the non-electrolyte. So what is my non-electrolyte? The non-electrolytes are the substances whose aqueous solution do not conduct the electricity. So here the aqueous solution of the substances they do not conduct the electricity, and the example of the non-electrolyte such as the urea, sucrose, glucose, these are the non-electrolyte. So here when we consider the electrolyte only, so here in case of the electrolyte there are two classes, or electrolytes are classified into the two groups, that is the strong electrolyte and the weak electrolyte. So here depending upon the extent to which they dissociate in the dilute solution. Generally here we can say that the strong electrolyte, so strong electrolyte dissociate completely, or here the ionization or the dissociation of the strong electrolyte in the dilute solution is completely, while in case of the weak electrolyte, so here weak electrolyte dissociate partially, there is an incomplete dissociation or there is an incomplete ionization of the weak electrolyte. So here if there is a complete dissociation or complete ionization in the dilute solution, then such a electrolyte they are called as the strong electrolyte. If there is an incomplete or the partial dissociation, then such a electrolyte it is called as, or they are called as the weak electrolyte. So let us consider some example of the strong and the weak electrolyte. So which are the strong electrolyte? SCl, HNO3, HBr, HI, then KOH, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, sodium chloride, then KCl. These all are the strong electrolyte. So here when we consider the solution of this electrolyte in the or dilute solution, there is a complete ionization or there is a complete dissociation of these substances in the dilute solution or in water. Then here the weak electrolyte, acetic acid, then here hydrogen cyanide, H2S, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, then ferric hydroxide. So these are the example of the weak electrolyte. So here when they dissolve in the water or when we consider their dilute solution, there is a incomplete or there is a partial dissociation. So here the strong electrolyte as well as the weak electrolyte. Then the next point is the electrical conductors. The substances which allows a flow of electric current is called as the electrical conductors. So here when we consider the electrical conductor, there are two types. Which are these two types of the electrical conductors? The first one is the metallic or electronic conductor and the second one is the electrolytic conductors. So again, what is by metallic or electronic conductors? So metallic conductors, or in metallic conductor, the current flow due to the movement of free electrons from the point of the higher potential to the lower potential without producing chemical change. So here there is a movement of the free electron. And which are the example of the metallic conductor? When we consider any metal such as the copper, aluminum, or the copper wire or the aluminum wire or the iron, when we consider any metal, so here any metal, it is an example of the metallic or electronic conductor. Then the second one is the electrolytic conductor. So here the current flows due to the movement of ion and produces a chemical change at the electrode. So here such a conductors, they are called as the electrolytic conductors. So here in case of the electrolytic conductor, there is a current flow because of the movement of the ion. And the example of the electrolytic conductor, that is the aqueous solutions of the acids, bases and the salts, etc. So here these are the example of the electrolytic conductor. So here when we consider the electrical conductor, there are two types, metallic conductor as well as the electrolytic conductors. Then here next point, what is by conductance or what is by conductivity? So here generally quantitatively the ability of the solution to conduct the electricity, generally it is expressed in terms of the conductivity, and here the power of the electrolyte to conduct electric current is termed as a conductivity or the conductance. So this is the definition of the conductance or the conductivity. Generally here the ability of the solution to conduct the electricity, it is expressed in terms of the conductivity. Friends, the conductivity or the conductance of the solution of electrolyte, it depends on mainly four factors. Which are these four factors? The number one is the nature of the electrolyte. Nature of the electrolyte means whether the given electrolyte, it is a strong electrolyte or the weak electrolyte. If we consider the strong electrolyte, naturally there is a complete ionization or the complete dissociation and the number of ions are more, then such a solution or such a substances have the high conductance value. When we consider the weak electrolyte, there is an incomplete ionization or incomplete dissociation. So here the first factor, nature of the electrolyte. The second one is the concentration of the solution. So here as concentration decides the number of ions in the solution. So here when we consider the concentrated solution, naturally the number of ions are more because here the quantity of the solute in the solution is more, so the number of ions are more. When we consider the dilute solution, so in case of the dilute solution, number of ions are small. So here the concentration is the second factor which affect on the conductance, because here the concentration decide the number of ions in the solution. The third factor is the velocity or the mobility of the ion. So when electrolyte or non-electrolyte, when it dissolves in the water, it dissociates into the cation and the anion. So here the mobility or the velocity of the ion, it is also important factor which affect on the conductance. Generally here mobility of the ion or velocity of the ions is more, then such a solution, it has the high conductance. So again conductance is depend on the mobility of the ions or the velocity of the ion. This is the third factor. Then the fourth factor is the temperature. So here temperature decides the mobility of the ions and also extent to which weak electrolyte dissociate. So here the fourth one is the important factor. So here if we increase the temperature of the solution, naturally the mobility of the ions increases and the conductance of the solution is also increases. Then in case of the weak electrolyte, there is an incomplete dissociation or incomplete ionization. So as we increase the temperature of the solution of the weak electrolyte, what happen? The extent of the ionization of the weak electrolyte is also increases, or the extent of the dissociation of the weak electrolyte is also increases, and the conductance value is also increases. So here these are the four factors which affect on the conductance. The first one is the nature of the electrolyte, whether it is a strong electrolyte or the weak electrolyte. Second one is the concentration of the solution, whether it is a concentrated solution or the dilute solution. Third one is the velocity or the mobility of the ion, and the fourth one is the temperature. Then the next one is the some basic terms which are very useful in the chapter conductometer. So first term is the Ohm's law. So here there are two types of the conductor, that is a metallic conductor or electrolytic conductor. For any metallic or electrolytic conductor, the strength of the electric current flowing through the conductor, that is I, and the resistance of the conductor, that is R, and applied potential, that is E, across the conductors, they are related to each other by the relation. What is the relation between these three quantity? That is I is equal to E upon R. So here the I is the current in ampere. R, what is the R? R is the resistance in ohm. So E is the EMF in volt. So here I is equal to E upon R. This is the equation number 1, or this relation, it is called as the Ohm's law. And according to the Ohm's law, the current flowing through the conductor, that is I, is directly proportional to the applied EMF, that is E, and inversely proportional to the resistance R offered by the conductor, that is I is equal to E upon R. So here this equation, it is called as the Ohm's law. So here for any metallic or electrolytic conductor, so here it obey the Ohm's law. So here the first one is the Ohm's law. Then the second term, and very important term, that is the specific resistance. So here specific resistance, it is denoted by symbol rho. So here the resistance R of any conductor having uniform cross sectional area. So here the resistance R of any conductor having uniform cross sectional area is found to be directly proportional to its length. That is R is directly proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to its cross sectional area. That's why here we can write R is directly proportional to L and inversely proportional to the A. So here this equation can be written as R is equal to rho into L upon A. This is the equation number 2. What is my R? R is the resistance. What is my L? L is the length of the conductor. What is my A? A is the cross sectional area of the conductor, and here this rho, it is the proportionality constant, and this proportionality constant, it is called as the specific resistance of the conductor. Because here the second and very important term in the conductometer, that is the specific resistance. So here this proportionality constant, it is called as the specific resistance of the conductor. So here this equation is applicable to all conductor, that is the electronic as well as the electrolytic, that is the R is equal to rho into L upon A. So what is important here? The value of the rho, it is the characteristic property of the conductor and it depends on the nature of the conductor. So here R is the resistance, generally it is expressed in terms of the ohm. L is the length of the conductor, it is expressed in terms of centimeter. A is the cross sectional area and it is expressed in terms of the square, centimeter square. So here the rho is the specific resistance. So here equation 2 can be rearranged in this way, that is a rho is equal to A upon L into R. This is the equation number 3. When L is equal to 1 centimeter, A is equal to 1 centimeter square, then this equation can be written as rho is equal to R. So here specific resistance is defined as the resistance offered by the conductor of 1 centimeter length and 1 square centimeter cross sectional area or 1 cubic centimeter volume. So this is a general definition of the specific resistance. So here what is the unit of the specific resistance? So here rho is equal to A upon L multiplied by R. That is, A is the cross sectional area, generally it is expressed in terms of the centimeter square. L is the length, it is expressed in terms of the centimeter. So centimeter square divided by centimeter, that is a centimeter, into R. R is expressed in terms of the ohm. So the unit of specific resistance is the ohm centimeter. So here the second term in electrolytic conductance, that is the specific resistance. Then let us consider the next term, that is the specific conductance. So friends, specific conductance, it is denoted by symbol LS. So first of all, let us define what is by conductance. Generally here the conductivity meter or the conductometer, generally it is used to measure the conductance of the solution or the resistance of the solution. So what is my conductance? So conductance is the reverse of resistance. So here conductance is generally it is denoted by symbol L. So here L is equal to 1 upon R. So here with the help of this expression, if we know the conductance, we can find out the resistance. If we know the resistance of the solution, we can find out the conductance of the solution. So here this is the definition of the conductance. Then next one is the definition of the specific conductance. So here the reciprocal of the specific resistance of any conducting material is defined as the specific conductance. So once again consider the definition of the specific conductance. The reciprocal of the specific resistance of any conducting material, it is defined or it is called as the specific conductance. It is denoted by symbol Ls. So here Ls is equal to 1 upon rho. What is my rho? Rho is the specific resistance. So here the reciprocal of the specific resistance, it is called as the specific conductance. And here the unit of the rho, it is the ohm centimeter. That's why here the unit of the specific conductance, it is the ohm inverse centimeters inverse, because Ls is the reciprocal of the specific resistance, or it can be written as, or it moles centimeter inverse. So this is the unit for the specific conductance. So here expression for the corresponding conductance L is equal to 1 upon R, and from the equation to, what is the equation to? R is equal to rho into L upon A. So here we can write L is equal to 1 upon R, and from this equation we can write is equal to 1 upon rho into A upon L. So here 1 upon rho, it is a Ls. So here L is equal to Ls A upon L. This is the equation number 5. So here the specific conductance is defined as the conductance of 1 centimeter cube of the material. So here this is about the specific conductance. And the last and very important term in electrolytic conductance, that is the equivalence conductance. So friends, equivalence conductance, it is denoted by symbol lambda. Either this symbol or this symbol is used to express the equivalence conductance. So here equivalence conductance means the conductance of solution or conductance of the volume of the solution containing the 1 gram equivalent weight of dissolved substance when placed between the two parallel electrodes 1 centimeter apart and large enough to contain between them all of the solution. So here this is the equivalence conductance. In short, equivalence conductance is the conductance of the solution or conductance of the volume of the solution which containing the 1 gram equivalent weight of the substance and when placed between the two parallel electrodes which are 1 centimeter apart. So here such a conductance, it is called as the equivalence conductance. So here it is denoted by symbol lambda. With here equivalence conductance cannot directly determine with the help of the conductometer, but it is calculated from the specific conductance and the conductance. This is very important. So equivalence conductance of any solution cannot determine directly, but here it can be determined or it can be calculated from the specific conductance and conductance of that solution. So here consider the two parallel large electrode which are 1 centimeter apart, and solution containing 1 gram equivalent of an electrolyte is placed between the electrode, and here if V is the volume of the solution containing 1 gram equivalent of the electrolyte. So here consider two parallel large electrode which are 1 centimeter apart, and solution containing 1 gram equivalent of the electrolyte is placed between the electrodes, and here if V is the volume of the solution containing 1 gram equivalent of the electrolyte, then L is equal to, lambda is equal to Ls into V. So what is my lambda? Lambda is the equivalence conductance, Ls means the specific conductance, and here V is the volume, that is the P is the volume of the solution containing 1 gram equivalent of the an electrolyte. If C is the concentration of the solution in gram equivalent per liter, then here we can write V is equal to 1000 divided by C. So here V is equal to 1000 divided by C, and here hence the equivalence conductance lambda, it will be lambda is equal to 1000 divided by C into Ls, because here V is equal to 1000 divided by C, and lambda is equal to Ls into V. Just substituting the value of the V in this equation. This equation can be written as, that is a lambda is equal to 1000 divided by C multiplied by Ls. Friends, with the help of this equation we can calculate or we can determine the equivalence conductance of the solution, because lambda is the equivalence conductance, C is the concentration of the solution. Generally it is expressed in terms of the normality, and Ls is the specific conductance of the solution. Just substituting the value of the Ls and here the C, we can determine the lambda, that is the equivalence conductance. So here next point is the unit of the equivalence conductance. So here the lambda is equal to Ls into V. So generally Ls, the unit of the specific conductance, it is the ohm inverse centimeter inverse. V is the volume, it is expressed in terms of the cubic centimeter. So here the ohm inverse centimeter inverse multiplied by centimeter cube. So here lambda is equal to ohm inverse centimeter square. So the unit of the equivalence conductance is the ohm inverse centimeter square. So friends, these are the some basic terms which are very useful in the chapter electrolytic conductance, that is the Ohm's law, then specific resistance, specific conductance, and the equivalence conductance. So here friends, these are the some basic concepts which are very useful in the electrolytic conductance. Thank you.